have an image for Jason to hype.
Get hype.
Yeah,
Hype.
it's for Jason.
Some
Nobody else look. Nobody. Stop looking. Oh my god. You can do magic.
It's called Evil Kid.
the hell is that?
It's Trumpy.
It
I
is
don't know what
Trump.
Trumpy is.
Trumpy from the European
check,
movie
1, 2,
Pod
3.
People.
Oh, nice. Pod people, wonderful.
Yeah.
Alright.
Huzzah! Oh,
Alright.
I'm just max chilling over here. That's all it looks
I
like,
like
right?
it. We should all
You
just
are.
go like this.
I am literally, there's something behind my back and my feet are propped up under my desk, so I'm actually in a straight line right now.
Nice.
No
It's
bends.
great.
My intestines are falling out of my crotch. Here we go. Let's do this, guys.
Shove him back in and podcast.
Hey guys, it's fucking metal. My body's trying to disembowel itself.
Oh god. Oh.
I gotta
Beats
spin
on
it
the
how I
weird
can spin
key.
it, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you couldn't do any spinning right now.
Mm.
Why don't you go ride a bike? Bet that'll feel great.
No,
Brother, me
no, it wouldn't.
a wiener in a blender.
I think we should start this.
Oh
Okay.
jeez, I don't know if I can cover this story. It kind of means that I had to have watched that video.
Shit. Just
He's
watch
describing a play session. There we go.
it. There. All right. Whenever you're ready, Nick, you can record.
Huh?
I'm ready to hit the big button.
Oh, it's been going, baby.
Okay,
We're live. We've been live since Wiener in a blender. That was out there.
Okay, well, let's record. Get ready. We're going to count down here. Mike, prepare yourself.
Hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butt.
Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Co-Opticast for October the 6th. My name is Locke Vincent. This is episode 132, and I'm joined by my groovin' ghoulies, my squad over here. We have, on the far left, we have the Wolfman, Nick.
Why am I the Wolfman?
Well, you're the one with
My
facial
beard.
hair. I'm switching. I guess I could be the Wolfman. Okay, you get to be Dracula. Nick
Alright.
is Dracula. Beside him, Jason Love. You can be the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Alright.
Mike gets to be Frankenstein.
I thought he was gonna be wiener in a blender.
No, I get to be the Wolfman. 'Cause
Man,
What?
fuck you guys.
yeah. Anyways, we got some games to talk about. We have some cool news and such, and then we're going to talk about the Steam update that happened. I think last week, I think it was last.
I think it was last week.
But yeah, let's start things off with let's get the Destiny stuff out of the way. Nick, we had a chance to do some playing this weekend.
Yeah.
How is post level 20 going for you?
I think I'm just about 25 now. 24 and a half or somewhere in there. Ironically, I've been playing mostly the PvP stuff.
Nice.
And, you get pretty decent items. Like, there's a chance for up to 2 every match. And as well as chances for engrams and all that other good stuff. And I've been, chugging along. The only thing I found disappointed was, I finally got to rank 1 or whatever, and you need to be rank 2 to buy anything from any of the vendors for the
Yeah, you
Crucible
get the shader, and that's it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have like a ton. Once I hit rank 2, I'm gonna have a ton of marks to spend because I have like 140 or 160 right now.
I
And
think you
what's
can only ever hold 200.
Oh, well, that really sucks then.
Gotta get extended.
I don't quote me on that, but I heard someone was saying that there's a cap to the amount of any resource you can sit on, so you don't just hoard it.
So yeah, I've been doing that, but we did some strikes, some of the Queen's missions together, which was fun.
Did you get yourself some perps?
I got my
I did-
perps.
Yeah, I got some perps. Yeah, and there seems to be a steady stream of stuff they're doing. I'd like to try some of the harder difficulty strike stuff now. I guess once you hit 24, that unlocks some of the
Nightfall strike.
yeah. So
Yeah, I did a Nightfall one today at lunch, and it was the Mars one where you fight against the giant Centurion, and that was challenging. It was fun. It was really fun, but it was challenging. So
Did you make it through?
yeah, we made it through. Yeah, we made it through, and I think
Nice.
we only failed once. So, and it's nice because it doesn't boot you to orbit. I haven't done the one that boots you to orbit yet. So
You did the weekly strike then.
yes, is
Yeah,
the
Nightfall.
the one that kicks
Nightfall
you
strike
right out?
puts you to orbit. Yep.
Okay, then I did the weekly heroic or whatever.
Gotcha.
cool.
Yeah, those get difficult. What else have you been playing?
I've actually been playing Black Mesa, which is the total conversion or mod for Half-Life.
Yes.
That's been being developed for as long as Half-Life 3 has been developed. And really enjoying that. I forgot how much I loved the original Half-Life. Taking me back to my college days and stuff like that. And so I've been working through that a little bit. And I tweeted out something tonight, but just reminded of what an amazing year 1998 was for video games and like PC games in general. It's just obscene how many things came out that year. And there's actually I found that there's actually a special Wikipedia entry just for it's called 1998 in video gaming, because not only PC games that came out.
Metal
There's
Gear
a lot of
Solid, Ocarina of Time,
Marvel
Fantasy, Final Fantasy 8, or
Marvel vs. Capcom, Panzer Dragoon Saga, tons of stuff. Rainbow Six came out that year. Commandos Behind Enemy Lines, Fallout 2, the first Spyro the Dragon, Grim Fandango.
Everything that's come out since 1998 has just been falling off the other side of the cliff, man.
Yeah, totally.
It's like rock and roll after 1974, man.
Yeah, Thief. You have Thief. You have Baldur's Gate, Star Siege Tribes, Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Like, it just went on and on. It's insane.
Crazy.
So yeah, I don't know. Got to reminisce a bit, and that's been it. It's basically just been Destiny here and there, and then.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. It's been weird, but it's nice to just hop into Destiny, do some missions, hop out. So
yeah,
enjoying that. Jason, you what have you been up to, man?
Yes. I brewed a couple beers this weekend. Looking forward to how those
What kind of beers?
So one is a kind of Belgian style with sage and honey.
Ooh.
It's a seasonal that I'm making for my brother-in-law, and the other one I made is another Belgian style made with clementine orange peels and coriander, so it's more traditional Belgian style, and that's going to be for my brother. Yes.
Clementine will remember that.
Yeah. Well said. So how long when will those batches be ready? When will they be ready?
So they're going to go out of the fermenters, like the gallon carboys, into the bottles in 2 weeks, and then they'll spend 2 months in the bottle before I give them to my brother-in-law and my brother for Christmas gifts. I'll recommend to them they should probably wait another month before they actually start drinking them, but they'll be ready to drink in 2 months' time. They just, we made a porter back in August, and we had it a month after we made it, and it was okay, but it got a whole lot better 2 months later, and so we're looking forward to trying that come December, because that'll be about 4 to 5 months since we've made it, so it should be really good about that time.
Nice. That's exciting. Anyways,
yeah,
how about video games? What are you going to play while you drink this beer? Yeah.
been playing a lot of Chariot. Actually, I was playing Chariot this evening before I hopped on here. I'm just having a ton of fun with that game. Even for like some of the stupid stuff sometimes, or it's just like we spend an hour in a level trying to beat this one section for really, I mean, like no point. I mean, there's nothing story-wise progression. There's nothing like that. We have to beat this. It's just there. It's a challenge, and I want to describe that because it pretty much perfectly sets up the co-op nature of this. So here's a little word picture for you. Imagine like two ramps coming down with a hole in this middle, kind of like a funnel. And above those ramps, you have 4 platforms, and they're kind of mirrored on each side. So you have like a small, short little platform, a gap in between it that's about the space for one of the characters, and then an L-shaped platform that's just big enough for like one of the characters to stand on. The Chariot can't go over those platforms. It can't go under it. Basically, has to go, underneath.
Yeah.
And you have the same thing on the other side, right? So the goal is to get both characters on the sticky outy bits of like the L-shaped platforms with the Chariot in between them, so they can just spin it between them, which pulls down a little gem and just gives you some treasure. All right, so there's a very
sticky outy bits a professional game reviewer term.
It is
Sticky outy bits, yeah.
Sticky outy bits.
All right, cool.
So the easy way to do this is you eventually get a gadget that lets you pull the Chariot up to you, right? So like if you jump and then you use the gadget, the Chariot, magnetizes and pulls up to you. Makes it a whole lot easier to do this. We don't have that gadget. I have the peg, which I talked about in my review, of you can kind of like, attach a rope to the Chariot, put the peg in the ground, and then the Chariot's not going anywhere for as long as the peg is around for like 8 seconds.
Right.
So what we ended up doing is my wife, Nancy, was on one of the platforms. I jumped up after her, and I put the peg down on the Chariot so it was sitting on one of the ramps. She gets up to the top part of the L and is standing there, and I grab the Chariot from the other side. When the peg lets go, when it disappears, the Chariot swings up so it goes underneath the platform so she can grab it on the other side. I fall off the platform I'm on, swing around to the other platform, peg it so that I can, drop and get to the other side of it, run around, get on top of the platform, grab it again, and we pulled up between us. It was one of those, just like, it took us so long to get this coordinated, to get it done. But
So
when we
did you
did
enjoy that pegging session with your wife?
Touche, sir. Touche.
I'm sorry.
Best co-op experience I've had in years.
Good.
Well done.
Man, but that's just the game. Like, there's when you play it cooperatively, and I said this in the review, it's meant to be played with someone else. Doesn't matter who, friend, wife, significant other, whoever it is. When you play it cooperatively, there's enough going on there that you can talk about, like, okay, what if we try this, and what if we do this? And when you get those moments down that, like, you finally kind of realize it and you achieve that, it's just so much fun. I mean, like, there's a high five button in the game almost for a reason. You do it in real life, you do it in the game, and then you go on to the next challenging bit. So, I mean, it's a great couch co-op game. I think it's one of the better couch co-op games I've played in the whole, in quite a while.
Nice.
So.
No, I was looking at the pictures you're posting from the PS4 share, and it just looks, the animation is really cool, the art style is really neat, and it sounds like it's a pretty cool co-op puzzle game.
It's very slick. Like, the level that we're on now, as you progress, there's like kind of, I think Trine even did this on parts of it, but as you progress and pass by like plants that kind of blossom, kind of bloom, so they kind of expand out, and like light shows behind them and stuff. So kind of as you're running through the level, you're just seeing like the whole thing kind of light up behind you. It's really, they do a really great job with it. So
cool.
It looks fun. I think out of everything I've seen about it, it looks like an actual co-op puzzle game. Because a lot of times, like, and even Trine falls into this gap. Like, if you watched our stream session of it, the number of times one character was able to just essentially complete the level without the help of the other two. But the fact that you have the Chariot to pull, and it means that both players actually meaningfully contribute to everything that's going on. So
Totally.
I think that's really sweet.
And there's a lot of moments too where you just have one person who's literally pulling the other person with them. I mean, like you'll be hanging off of ledges, the other person is kind of dangling on their rope, and so they just pull, you pull the chariot and them up on the ledge. But for moments like that where you can just go it alone, there's so many more where, having the other person makes it go faster, makes it go a whole lot easier. You can figure out, a different way of, you can't figure out how to get up there, but the other person says, what if we try this? And the second they say that, it's like, oh, that's the most obvious solution in the world. But yeah, it is a really great co-op experience. I definitely recommend it.
Sweet.
Aside from that, just been, when I haven't been doing that, I've been decapitating a bunch of orcs in Shadow of Mordor. Man,
people have been loving this game, and I've been digging it. Like, really, it's a decent open world game, but the Nemesis system just sells it. So, how has it been treating you?
I've spent probably enough time in the first level, like the first stage, the first part, Udun or whatever it's called. And I was like, I bet there's more to this. There's got to be more. They can't just leave you here. But like, I've spent enough in there that I have completely and utterly changed orc society in that part of the world forever. Like, generations of orcs have come and gone, and like, I've just been killing them all. And then I was just like, oh, hey, I can leave here and go off somewhere else. And
Nice.
And I kind of wish I had done that a whole lot sooner, just because there's a whole lot more of the game to explore. It gets even more gorgeous. Like, the next area, they've got cliffs overlooking the ocean and all this other kind of stuff. But, man, I mean, that Nemesis system is something else. That's just... I love the fact that you have to learn about their weaknesses. You got to plan your attack. My biggest nemesis for the longest time was pretty much invulnerable to every single way that you could kill a guy. Combat finishers, stealth, ranged. The one thing he had was fear of burning. So I pretty much had to wait until it was in a situation. There's special, conflict events. I had to wait until it was a feast, and he was having a feast. So I knew there was a barrel of grog next to him that I could blow up, set him on fire, and that was my chance to attack and kill him.
Nice.
And it was just, I mean, like, I was patient for that. I waited that mother out because he killed me so many times. I was just like, this guy's going down.
Jeez. Yeah, I forget what his name was. It was like Pock the spear thrower, and I could not deal with him. He'd always show up late to fights and get the last kill. So, and he just got really, really powerful, and he's been the bane of my existence lately. I also enjoy seeing people's nemesis pop up, and you get like just a one-off side mission saying so-and-so killed Jazzy Love, so so you get a mission, you can go avenge your friend's death, which is really neat. The same sort of idea as the console version of Diablo there. But
I see your little breakdown there behind you too of the game.
Yeah, that's going to be a special edition of Gaming Alchemy, but it borrows from a lot of games. I noticed within the first probably about 15 minutes is borrowing. Obviously, it's got the style of sort of gameplay style of Assassin's Creed, where you're hopping and doing lots of traversal. The combat lifted from the Arkham series, which is great. It feels awesome, and you get to slay fools. I also said if with the dual worlds of Legacy of Kain, switching between.
Oh yeah, that's a good call.
Sort of the ethereal world and the real world, and really, I was talking about this with a friend. How badass would it be if you could mod it on PC to have the Ranger be Kain and the Wraith be Raziel? I think that would be kind of fun. There's a total conversion mod for you.
Yeah.
It's got the interrogation and the last known position from Splinter Cell, as well as when you pick up an artifact, you have to do the spin around and look for the little mark like on Tomb Raider. And finally, it's got the old bullet time from Red Dead Redemption there, where you can slow down time and get a bunch of headshots. So it borrows very well, I think. It does very well in lifting from all these different sources, but then put the Nemesis system as the icing on the cake, and wow, you got a masterpiece there. So it's just fun. I mean, it's just a fun ass game. You go around. There's always something to do, and you always. I always try and spread out what I'm doing. Like I found myself again, Jason, same as you. I wanted to just like clear out this section, but then everywhere else sort of populates, and you have to go deal with that. But it's funny too. I found that I'll go on little streaks of like I'll kill 10 guys in a row, and then it'll just be like, nope. I'll like be on the edge of exterminating the Uruk race, and then they're like, nope, and I'll die like 5 or 6 times, and they just get so powerful, and all the ranks fill back in, and I'm like, well, back to square one, I guess.
Yeah. I like it's the first open world game too. I think I played in a while where it feels alive. Like I like the fact that you're just wandering around that area, and all of a sudden you see a bunch of orcs like fighting off some ghouls or some Caragors or something like that, and you can kind of just sit back and watch. And you know, sometimes they die, sometimes they win or whatever. But you know, you can watch them or you can step in between. I mean, it's a very cool feeling to the world that it's
I
moving
can tell you
without you.
The coolest thing that happened was I had a nemesis who had a fear of Caragors, and a pack of Caragors encountered his war party, and the world killed my nemesis for me.
That's awesome.
I did not do any. I did not set them loose. I did nothing. I was on my way to go kill him, and this just happened.
Yes.
Nice.
I was like, okay, that's pretty sweet.
Let me just go pick up my rune, and I'll be gone.
How's the game treating you?
Pretty well. I think I've fallen into the trap that you guys have, where I could probably advance the story, but all I want to do is just go murder orcs.
Well,
like, I think I've done 4 story missions. I don't even have the ability to enslave them yet.
I don't either.
I can just.
No, I don't. Nope.
No.
I've just been running around and killing them. It's super fun, and I know. Eventually, you just get more and more powerful, and it gets crazier, and then you can do all the enslavement and stuff. But I haven't.
So
I have really been playing a lot of console games.
Yes.
Where I got to every single tier is unlocked in my skill tree from the power that you get.
Right.
And I've spent 5,000, at least 5,000, more than that, but 5,000 of the coins that you rack up, like on the special abilities, just from the first area.
That's crazy. You're a crazy man.
I am.
You should just go finish the story so you have all your abilities, and then go play the endless mode that exists.
There's just so many Uruks to kill.
I know, but they have that score challenge mode, and it seems really cool. So yeah, I haven't even got the ability to enslave anybody yet, so I don't even know how that works. But it seems pretty cool. That being said, Mike, console games, Command Center, what's going on in your world?
So, I don't really feel like telling the story again, but I found out last week that I need surgery, and I cannot actually move a whole lot until that happens.
Yes.
So I have basically been hanging out in bed and on my couch.
Wonderful.
So I've had a little bit of Shadow of Mordor time, but mostly I've been watching Bob's Burgers.
Yes.
But before that, I had started playing The Vanishing of Ethan Carter for the Halloween Horror Roundup, and that is a pretty damn slick exploration/adventure game. You're basically like a psychic detective, and there's this boy that this like evil plot in this town is kind of centering on this kid, and a bunch of bad stuff's happening, and he tells you that you got to come help him, and then he vanishes, so you have to go and figure out what goes on. And there's a variety of different types of puzzles in the game, but the core of it is you come across like a murder scene, and you have to like pay attention to the surroundings and find like a rock that's out of place, or like the crankshaft of a train or whatever, and you collect all these things and you try and recreate the crime scene as it happened immediately prior to the death of the body, and then you can tap into the body and then the body will split into like 5 to 7 little spirits, and each one will be like a tiny glimpse of the events that led up to the death, and then you have to figure out what order all of those happened in. So they some of them seem like they're pretty straightforward what happened, but then you like can actually look at the character models and notice, like, in the very first one there's a scene that seems to happen after everything, but it's actually one of the first things that happens, because you find out, like, if you actually look around the character model, you'll see that one of the guys is holding a rock, like, behind his back. And you can't, like, so you actually have to be really observant to solve some of those puzzles. And it's really rewarding. The game drops you in. It literally says this is a mystery game, and we're not going to hold your hand.
Nice.
And that's it. Like, it does not give you it really doesn't give you any tutorial. It just drops you in and you go explore. And how much of the mystery you solve along the way is up to you.
Nice.
And it's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. It looks I don't know what engine it's running on, but it's made by a group called the Astronauts, who are made up of a bunch of ex-People Can Fly developers.
Nice.
So the Bulletstorm guys making an understated murder mystery.
Who would have thought, right?
Yeah,
What?
but that's pretty good. I've been playing. I played some Shadow of Mordor, but since I've been on my back a whole lot, and I'm not playing the pegging game, I have been playing Smash Brothers on 3DS.
Yeah, how is that?
It's amazing.
Yeah?
Like, if you like Smash Brothers, you should get it.
Dude.
I know the exact same game and all of its content is coming to the Wii U, but I've got a coworker with a 3DS, and we're playing Smash.
Nice.
And
settle with Smash? Settling all arguments with Smash?
It's just like there's so much content and so many modes in that game. I could spend the rest of the podcast talking about them, but I can safely say, if you like Smash Brothers, you'll like this. The only thing that it has going against it is obviously getting to do like local multiplayer. Getting three other people with a 3DS in the same spot is hard, but you can play the whole thing online as well, so that's pretty sweet. And I also finally finished Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright,
Well done.
It's great. I enjoyed that. That is a game that took me 22 hours to finish.
That's not bad. That's 20 hours less than Project X Zone for me. So
yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
The Project Exozone, or whatever it says in your 3DS menu.
Friends off with that game. I'm looking forward to moving on to...
that's a game where I enjoyed playing it for about an hour, and then I, for some reason, put it down and never came back to it, and realized I had made the right decision.
You did, because now
it's like this game is really fun and interesting and stupid, but fun. I haven't put it back, played it since. And
I got to the point where it's like, okay, I understand what's happening. I don't really need to play anymore. And then I played some more, and it's like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. And I got so stubborn where I'm like, I'm just gonna finish this piece of shit. So whatever.
It's like, fuck you, game.
Yeah. So no, I'm on the last 2 missions, I think, but. Yeah, like I said, I've been drooling and fawning over Bravely Default since you guys talked about it months ago, and looking forward to getting me some proper strategy RPG stuff. But
yeah, it's Final Fantasy V. If you'd like that.
Good. That's good.
That's what Bravely Default is.
Yeah, so we got lots of Destiny. Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing about that on Halloween horror stuff. I played Harvester. Do you guys remember that game?
Yes.
No.
Oh, dude.
But I watched your video on it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then you've played it. So just like that game is whack. The town is whack. It's like Twin Peaks on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So take that for what it's worth. Speaking of which, Twin Peaks coming out with 9 additional episodes for whatever reason, because we're in Bizarro land this week.
I'm just waiting for someone to say, let's make more X-Files.
Yeah, and then something about Vib Ribbon happened.
Yeah, Vib Ribbon's coming out on PSN
like
tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't even know how, but
So speaking of Halloween horror, did you see that Five Nights at Freddy's is on the iPad now
Oh, nice.
for like $2?
Really? I have to send myself a reminder. Go get that because that game is.
That might have been a sale. It's definitely like 5 or less.
Yeah, that game's creepy. I have one of my friends doing the review for that, so I'm interested to see what he says because, yeah, security guard at night and animatronic things always freaky. I haven't been playing much else other than like I said, Destiny, Shadow of Mordor, which we talked about, and just Halloween stuff. Lots on the docket there. But so far so good. Lots of good things. The scares are real, guys. The scares are real. Anything else before we move on, gentlemen? We covered Chariot. Yeah, we got Chariot. Good.
Yeah.
Speaking of scary things, there's a game called Devil's Dare coming out on October 21st.
Yes, there is.
I'm gonna throw this one to you, Jason.
It's
what's Devil's Dare? Paint me a word picture.
Another word picture. Okay, so you have this pointy outy bit. All right.
Jeez.
So do you like
Let's call it a peg.
Yes, I like Streets of Rage.
Do you like Alien vs. Predator?
I like Alien vs. Predator.
And Golden Axe?
All
Starting to lose me.
Hey.
So imagine like all those kind of classic beat 'em ups tossed into a game where you're fighting against zombies and iconic horror movie villains. So Jason from Friday the 13th and the Alien from the same movie. Terminator. I mean, a whole lot more that they've got in store there that he hasn't shown off yet. But Devil's Dare is a local co-op beat 'em up where there's permanent death mechanics. So when you lose, it's game over, right? You kind of really want to capture that arcade feel. But instead of quarters for your continues, as you defeat stuff, you'll get coins that you can then use to upgrade your characters. But you can also then save them to buy continues, basically. So you can kind of play that little bit of a balance between if you want to upgrade or if you want to hold off because you think you're going to die for the next stage.
Nice.
So looks like a lot of fun. It also seems to have basically some fatality mechanics, like you can do some special moves to finish off enemies, and that helps power up certain abilities and stuff. So it looks like a lot of fun. Looks like a really pretty good beat 'em up title. The Secret Base developer did all the Toby puzzle platformer games that I've played on the Xbox Live indie games back in the day. Those are really well crafted. I mean, like the graphics he has down really well. They're a very much 16-bit era. I mean, feeling and looking sort of set up. So
yeah, it definitely has its own style to it. So
yeah. So out October 25th, first on Steam.
It's gonna happen.
Look forward to it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nick, tell us about Pumping the Brakes.
Yeah, that's BRAKES, brakes. And but them's the brakes because the game is delayed. The crew from Ubisoft was pushed back about a month. But it was kind of also call it good news in some ways. One, it's getting it out of a busy November to December 2nd. And two, the reason they're doing it is because they're listening to feedback from a beta. It's not a beta as a glorified demo, as we've seen all too often nowadays.
Yeah.
So they said some of the stuff would be some HUD tuning, some collision tweaks, difficulty tweaks, improved voice chat integration, which is good. So yeah, we had some fun when we played that, Locke.
I liked what they had going. And again, if they tighten some of the screws in all those things you mentioned, I think it's going to be a solid racing game, especially with the social aspects of it and just being able to hop in together and do some racing.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, it's not. We finally got clarification. It's not like really co-op. You're still. While you're competing against your friends, there's no penalties or anything like that. But you do get the benefit of working together, and they give some examples of some of the the cop stuff, trying to evade, and using your friends to kind of help with that, and take down the cops and stuff like that. So yeah, so December 2nd. I guess the original release date now of November 11th. They're going to launch another beta for folks. So.
I'm going to leave it installed because I'd like to give it one more try before it comes out and to see what changes they make. Because, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I really like that style of open world racer where you kind of fart around and do stuff. So we tried. Okay, we tried to try, Rick and I, Fear Online this weekend. And it's supposed to be launching this Halloween. And there was this quote-unquote big press event that we were invited to, but it's interesting to sort of back it up here. Fear Online, free-to-play game that will mimic the Fear universe, and it's a first-person shooter with some spooks in it. So you got like
and bullet time,
and bullet time as well. Yes. So there's some weird. There's ghosts hopping out and Alma and blood and scary stuff happening, but first and foremost, it's a shooter. But anyways, we hopped in there. We were playing around with some of the sort of interface things where they have an interesting purchase system. It's free to play, but then you can buy, except buying, you're actually renting equipment and characters and weapons, because you can buy it for 1 day, 7 days, or a month, which I thought that doesn't really sit well with me in terms of a sort of how, like, I like to buy things outright and own it, but I'm curious to see how this works. Anyways, we couldn't get into a
free to rent system.
Yeah, free to rent. Anyways, we couldn't get into a game because apparently, my guess, because it was just Nick and I, you need 4 people to do the horde mode that they have going on. So I did.
I don't even know. I don't even know how much of a horde mode, because it sounds like, at least from the press material, like there's an actual story like going on.
Well,
it takes place after Fear 2 and before Fear 3, and there's going to be set missions kind of going on.
You just hop in there, which that doesn't make sense to me why you can't just do those with 2 to 4.
Yeah.
So we weren't able to do that. We tried to touch base with them, so hopefully we can get back, because I'm curious to see what this is like. I was playing the PvP and it's whatever, but I am more interested to see what they're doing with the co-op stuff, because I like Fear. I like how
it plays. Tutorial was pretty cool, right? The tutorial level?
Yeah, like the intro level, it has you waking up in a hospital and there's crazy stuff happening, and it's like legitimately scary, and it had a really good vibe to it. So I want to do that with other people and just play it out. So so we'll report back when we get some clarification on how that is happening. But yeah, Fear Online coming out before a Halloween on Steam here. And last but not least, we have some Destiny events wrapping up and new ones coming up. Mike, what's going on?
Well, I think by the time anyone pays attention to this, the Queen's Banner, or the Queen Wrath of the Queen event in Destiny is wrapping up, where you got to take on some special bounties, which unlocked basically legendary difficulty missions that gave you guaranteed shots at loot, at legendary loot, which is pretty cool. It was obviously another faction to grind rep against to get items, but is nice change of pace. But now in a repeat from, I think it was either the alpha or the beta, the Iron Banner event, which is a PvP. So the Queen's Wrath was a PvE focused event. This is a PvP focused event, and the difference is if you play on the Iron Banner playlist, all of the level discrepancies and gear discrepancies are not evened out. So if I've been raiding the Vault of Glass and stocked up with raiding gear, and I drop into the Iron Banner playlist, I'm going to be able to murder everyone's face because I have much higher defense and attack power than everybody else. So that's pretty cool, and again, you'll gain reputation and gear, and there's special bounties. It's Basically, it's the same type of event, just PvP focused.
I'm excited for the new shaders. Not gonna lie.
Is at least one of them not purple?
Yes, they are gold and white, and black is one of them, and then
Well,
gold.
black's one of them. I might actually play the PvP for the first time since the beta.
And then the other one is gold, green, and white, silverish. So looks
Cool.
pretty badass. Yeah, looks pretty cool. So
Yeah.
just wanted to get a heads up on that because the events are switching over again. Bungie's going to support the hell out of this game. So let's keep going. We got one thing to talk about with regards to discussion stuff, and that is the Steam update that happened. I think it's 2 weeks ago now, because we just saw it. Yeah, when we recorded 2 weeks ago, I think it just updated. But big update to the storefront, and they've sort of overhauled the way you discover games, I guess you could say, and how your recommended games. But yeah, Nick, you set up our Curator group for Co-Optimus. Why don't you take us through that and how that works?
Yeah, so basically the way the Curator stuff is, you can recommend, or you have to recommend/review at least 10 games first, and it's tied to an actual Steam group. So we went back through the catalog and found 10 titles we liked, and posted that up and said, we're all about co-op games, so here's what you can find through us.
Yep.
And I think we have a pretty interesting angle. Like we always do. We kind of stand out from the other folks.
Yeah, they're just the typical. This is
typical
a good game.
Gaming. Yeah. So what we're gonna do, instead of just like filling it up with all the co-op games or whatever you want to say, every Friday we're gonna add a new one. We kind of talk about it in a chat room and decide, what's gonna be added and stuff. So I think if you look at it, what's interesting about it is pretty much most of the top ones are YouTube personalities.
Yeah.
Or people personalities. At least in the top 10, it's about half.
Outlets and half
Well,
personalities.
it's like PewDiePie and Total Biscuit.
Yeah. Hold on, my headset's dying. I gotta plug in.
Okay. Like the top ones are like Total Biscuit is huge. PC Gamer is huge. Jim Sterling.
Yeah.
Rock Paper Shotgun. Kotaku. PC Master Race is up there too, which is good.
As it should be.
Yeah. Guys like Boogie, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hodor, apparently.
So the Hodor one is kind of ridiculous because it's literally every review just says Hodor, Hodor, Hodor.
Oh, good.
Which
Wonderful.
it should. But yeah, so it's interesting that it got so popular so quick, and we saw immediately, like within the first day or so, a lot of indies and stuff asking to be, added to our store and reviewed. And I guess now on their side, there's actually tools to decide what curators are displayed on the game pages. Because if you go to a game page now, there's a big prominent section to say this game is recommended by, these groups. I think there's like maybe 5. So they have kind of control on who recommends their game and what the review is and stuff like that. So that's kind of their tool there. So what we saw, I guess, and Valve updated the terms of service this week, was that people were taking money already to have games added to their Curator store. So you have to actually disclose that. We are not taking any money. We haven't taken any money.
No.
But I guess
I'll give you $1 if you let me add Dark Souls.
It was painful enough to add that game.
Other than that, we've got a big changes to the store page. The first page you see when you hop into Steam, at least for me, because mine goes to the store page, and they've overhauled it to if you have it on a widescreen monitor, you can browse things by genre. You can see the tags that are recommended for you. As you scroll down some more, you have a couple sort of customizable areas like new on Steam. You can, and if within that you can say if you want to see early access stuff, if you want to see games that are already in your account, if you want to have software in there, because Steam does software as well. Right below that, you can see stuff that's updated recently, and I actually customize that to be things that are only within my account, so I can see what they've updated and what they've changed, which I actually find super useful, because I didn't know that Anomaly Defenders got a new sexy female cyborg voiceover today. So, and then after that, they have this discovery queue. Now, Jason, take me through the discovery queue.
So that's just basically based off of previous games that you've bought, things that you've recommended, things that you like. It's basically Steam watching what you're doing and saying, hey, you may also want to throw money this way. So, for instance, right now, like I've just been going through my queue, curious to see what's in there. It had Binding of Isaac Rebirth. It had Alien Isolation. So, based off some horror games, some other things that I bought in there. Co-op games. There's a lot of co-op games that it recommends to me. But a lot of it too seems to be based off of popularity. So the more that games sell, the more that it gets to the top of that list. So it's interesting that just kind of was bringing together a few different things and a way for you to narrow down to like 11 or 12, I think it was 11 titles each time it shows you through, or 12 titles.
Yeah.
So if not quite sure, hey, I like this game, what else kind of, or I like these types of games, what else is out there, and you don't really know where to search. Discovery Queue gives you a nice little thing to go through and just 12 quick titles. They, here's something that looks good, add it to my wish list, or let me just go ahead and buy it. And what's the next one? Yeah, nah, not for me. What's the next thing that they've got? And they always have a thing up there where you can just start another queue. So you just, you go through those, you go back to the store page, start up another one, go through another 12 titles and see what they've got.
Yeah, it definitely narrows down and hones the things that you are interested in. And since that's happened, I do my queue every day just because I hop on, see what's there, and it's getting pretty darn close to being everything I sort of enjoy and the genres I like. Today, Disney ruined it by putting all their games in there, so now I have all this Disney princess crap on my screen, but it'll filter out with
me. I have a 4-year-old.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you can buy the Disney princess pack, but
except I won't, because fuck that stuff.
But overall, I enjoy it. I like it. Of course, it's gonna not force people, but Valve is gonna get more money out of people just because it's pushing more products on people. But I mean, overall, I like it. What do you guys think?
I think Valve kind of did a bad job as Steam got more and more powerful, and as Greenlight and Early Access started taking over more and more and more of Steam. I feel like they couldn't solve the curation problem because they didn't really want to be curators.
Yeah.
And I don't think this solves much. I think this is probably going to end up being all of the top YouTube personalities and very narrow groups of focused criticism. It's just going to be kind of flavor of the minute stuff. I've seen a lot of the niche curators are getting pushed further and further down the pages.
Yep. As
other groups that are fans of a certain podcast are rising. So I think finding a curator that you trust is going to be very important, because there's going to be a lot of chaff there. It's going to be presented differently than it has been, and the discovery queue is actually the good part of it, right? Because you're teaching. It's like Netflix. You're teaching the system what you like, so it will eventually start only showing you, or mostly showing you, stuff that you like. So you have to give them credit where it's due. That's good, but I think I'm not I like that we have a curation page and that we are popular, but I'm not entirely sold on curation as the future of Steam.
Right. for game discovery. I do agree with you. I like in terms of curation, I know better than these people, so they should listen to me. But I do like the analogy, the Netflix analogy there, because that's what I like. It's like I don't want to miss a game that I might enjoy, because it's either a small indie game or it just flew under the radar. So hopefully, by telling Steam, it's like, I like these weird survival games that put you in the wilderness and you have to survive for a long time. It's like, okay, well maybe since you like Don't Starve and The Forest, like
maybe you like Rust.
Yeah, or make sure you play The Long Dark or something like that. So
yeah, I don't think it's I think the curator thing isn't necessarily to discover so much as it is to validate a decision. So it's like I said, how the developers are able to kind of badge their game with the curators they think are kind of most important. So when someone is using their discovery queue and they bring it up and they look and they say, oh, well, I see Co-Optimus and Giant Bomb and Total Biscuit all have this in their store as recommended. So I usually agree with those guys. So this is the way to go. You know, and then from our perspective, I think what's really cool is Valve actually allows us to link our reviews from our site on there.
Yeah, that's nice.
You know, to hopefully generate a little bit of traffic and kind of learn more about the stuff that way as well, not just limited to what's on Steam itself.
So what it tells me is we need to start reviewing more PC games, boys.
We do.
Let me tell you.
I'm interested in seeing where it shakes out, because Nick raises some good points, but I think it's like, I don't know how other people use Steam, right? Like how often do you actually go to an individual games page versus like scrolling through like a list?
Yeah.
Or like I look through I look at like my friends and see what they've been playing or what they've bought. Like, I don't sit there on a game store page and camp it. So
totally.
That's how I use it. Other people might use it different. So.
Well, right, and you can now follow stuff. So, I mean, I got an email alert earlier about something I was following has now dropped in price or whatever. It's on sale, or you got a coupon for it. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just ways to get you the content that you want to get to quicker, which isn't bad, but yeah. Curation, I'm with Mike on. I'm not quite sure if that's it's good for us, bad for everyone else. Everyone else should just stop curating.
Yeah, stop it. Stop picking dumb games.
Wait until Justin Ross comes out, then we'll show them all.
Oh, the Justin Ross group is so good. It has only Final Fantasy games in it and Titanfall. Titanfall's not even in there, so
that's pretty amazing.
I don't know how we hacked that in there, but yeah.
And it's only Final Fantasy 13, right?
Yes, only 13. That's it. Steam, I only use it to buy games and not play them, and play trading cards with friends, so that's it. I think that does it for the show. I know Mike has to go deal with something in his pants. He's got to get on this whole pegging game that Jason's reviewed. No voicemail this week. Hit us with a voicemail. Tell us your spooky stories, spooky co-op stories.
Spoopy.
If it's spoopy. One of my good friends and I played Silent Hill 2 together. This is two high school kids sitting on a couch together, not touching the controller because Pyramid Head was too scary. So we'd like to hear some of those funny co-op horror stories.
Tell us what we should stream next week. Send us an email at tips@cooptimus.com and suggest a game for us to stream.
That's right. So. We need. Otherwise, we're just gonna pick Red Solstice again and play that.
I wouldn't mind going back to that.
Grim Dawn has got co-op now.
Nick and I tried streaming it and we couldn't connect to one another.
No, all three of us tried. It didn't work.
So yeah, fire us a tip and let us know what you want to see. Again, spin tires is always an option for Kalinka.
It's his best option.
It is best option. And other than that, leave us feedback on iTunes. Throw us a follow on Twitter at Co-Optimus. Love to hear from you. And I don't have any show and tell. Jason, do you? I'm not going to make Mike get up.
I have some stuff in reach.
I found my old Game Boy, which was
nice.
That's noteworthy.
My old has Tetris
in there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that's not welded in.
Yeah.
So I can show you that I have this rad sticker of Luigi.
Whoa! Where did you get that?
Fan gamer.
Nice.
And I'm going to murder someone who called my house.
Call from Wes.
Excuse me.
Awesome. So leave us a voicemail, 646-926-6748. And yeah, we'll be streaming next Monday, which we look forward to seeing you all there. That's the 13th. And once again, on behalf of myself and all my co-hosts for Co-Opticast, episode 132. Bye, everybody. Happy looting. Have fun. Happy Halloween. And we'll talk to you guys next week. See ya.
Bye.